All right, let's dive into the Strictly Come Platforming 2025 report. We're going to break down a year of some serious high drama in the UK platform market. We'll see who's really leading the dance and, well, who's at risk of getting voted off.
This line from the report, it just absolutely nails it. It perfectly captures the spirit of the market right now. See, it's not just about who's the biggest anymore. It's all about performance, about precision, and about partnership. Who is actually hitting the right notes, and who's maybe stepping on a few toes?
So here's our dance card for today. We'll start by welcoming you to the dance floor, then get into all the market drama. We'll look at the winners and losers, break down how the judges scored everyone, and finally, reveal that all-important leaderboard. Let's get to it.
Okay, first up, let's set the stage. Because in a market that's moving this fast, figuring out who the really strong performers are is absolutely critical for advisors making those big, long-term decisions for their clients.
And you've got to understand, this isn't just about numbers. Not at all. The market is dealing with enormous change. We're talking major consolidation, huge regulatory pressure from things like consumer duty, which is all about making sure clients get good outcomes, plus these massive tech overhauls and financial shocks. Honestly, it's a very, very complex dance floor to be on right now.
You can't have a competition without a bit of backstage drama, right? Well, in 2025, the platform market really delivered. The whole year was just packed with these incredible plot twists that completely set the stage for the final results.
Just look at this timeline. It shows a year of real instability. Back in April, M&G creates all this uncertainty about its platform's future. Then in July, FNZ, which is the tech engine behind a lot of major platforms, gets a negative outlook because of high leverage, basically too much corporate debt. But then just a few months later, it secures this massive new funding from its own clients. And to top it all off, in December, Aegon announces it's planning to sell its entire UK business. These are huge strategic shifts that created a ton of noise in the market.
So, with all that going on behind the scenes, how did it actually play out on the commercial dance floor? Let's take a look at who found their rhythm and who, well, stumbled when it came to growing their business.
And what we saw was this really clear split. On one side, you have these agile newcomers, right? P1 and Fundment coming in with modern tech and really clean execution. But on the other side, you've got these legacy players like Aegon and M&G who are clearly struggling with their choreography, weighed down by all that strategic disruption we just talked about.
And when you look at the numbers, the story is just stark. The growth for new guys like P1 and Fundament was so explosive, we actually had to cap it at 100% for this chart. Now compare that to the steady, moderate growth of established players like Nucleus and Aviva, and then the decline of those facing all that uncertainty. The difference is just huge.
So the message here is crystal clear. Advisors are voting with their feet. They're moving away from all that noise and instability, and they're moving toward platforms that offer a clear strategy and stable, modern technology. It's that simple.
Okay, so how did the report get to its final rankings? How did the judges actually score these performances? Let's break down the criteria.
The overall rating is really a blend of 3 key scores. First up, and this one's the biggie, is financial strength. Basically, does the platform have the stamina to last the whole series? Second is pricing, and third is the wrapper score, which is just looking at the range of accounts they have. ISAs, pensions, the whole wardrobe that advisors need for their clients.
Now, speaking of financial health, the market as a whole has actually become way more profitable, and that's pretty impressive with all the regulatory pressure. The overall pre-tax profit margin jumped from around 10% in 2020 to nearly 23% in 2024. That's a huge leap.
But here's the kicker. That profitability, it is incredibly concentrated. Just 4 big players, Aberdeen, Quilter, AJ Bell, and True Potential. They raked in nearly 80% of the entire market's profits. That tells you exactly where the financial power really sits. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. After digging into the financials, the pricing, the wrappers, let's reveal that final leaderboard and see who the report crowned as this year's showstoppers. So, after tallying all the scores from the judges, who really earned those top marks? Who delivered the kind of flawless performance that advisors can truly depend on?
And here they are, topping the leaderboard: AJ Bell, Aberdeen, Transact, Parmenion, and True Potential. According to the report, these are the platforms that delivered time and time again. Consistently high-scoring routines, combining strong financials, really solid pricing, and, this is crucial, dependable service. They are, without a doubt, this year's leading performers.
So what does this all mean for you? What are the key takeaways for your next move? Well, the report's conclusions are pretty clear.
Number 1. Pick platforms that have financial stamina. 2. Be really cautious where ownership is unclear or the future just looks a bit foggy. 3. Do not underestimate those agile newcomers. And above all else, remember that service and stability, that's what decides who makes it to the final. And so, as the curtain falls on this year's competition, the final question is really about the future. This report shows a market that is in constant motion, where today's leader could easily be tomorrow's challenger. Because in a market with this much drama, the dance never, ever truly ends.